What is going on, everybody? On here. Happy Sunday. I guess the Patriots have already won. It looks like the Seahawks are winning at halftime. But it's time to get into more important things. We're going to talk about this week's distribution update across all of the TCGs. So let's start with One Piece because there's a lot of interesting things going on kind of cross board here. So the illustration collections for illustration collection 5 and 6 came out this past week. Now, for those of you who don't know, those are big box only items, generally speaking. For whatever reason, GTS and Alliance had an opportunity to get some for this set. Now, you were not able to order them. It was a strict allocation. However, orders for illustration collection 7 and 8 were able to be made, and there is an anticipation that you can kind of ask for what you want there. So that's a little bit different than normal. Outside of that, the OP window for or the release window to schedule an OP15 event ends, I believe, next week. So get your order in or get your event scheduled if that's what you want. Moving on, Flesh and Blood. So we have this new Compendium of Wrath set coming out. A couple weeks. I've mentioned it. Has a little gold pack in that's probably going to be worth 60 to 80 bucks, I'm guessing, just based on some of the cards that I've seen so far. I had no idea what to think about this. We generally don't order a whole lot of Flesh and Blood. The player base kind of died with Monarch and stuff, but this is a set where we ordered really intending to sell singles because a lot of folks they've just been so turned off by the last set and the game piece army mentality of the game. So we did end up getting 80% of our allocation for this, which was really, really interesting. The orders were certainly down compared to Super Slam. So I think a lot of the big players who tend to take large allocations, rip for singles, are lightening up the load, if not eliminating the game at all, because I think they've got their face ripped off on the last set. So it's just something of note. We've only ordered a couple cases of it each of the last few sets. So this is a little bit of an outlier for us. Moving on, Godzilla. Keep telling you guys, this game's a banger. Set 4 is out for order now. Set 3 releases this coming Friday. Set 1 doesn't exist. The boxes are $100. Set 2 is drying up super fast. And they keep selling. I don't know who's buying them, but for whatever reason, they keep selling 4 boxes, 5 boxes, 6 boxes a day on TCG Player. And the thing is resilient. For a game that gets almost no publicity, it's super, super interesting. And set 3 that's coming out has a lot of really, really cool chase cards. It may even have serialized. I know it has auto cards. And I think I recall saying something about some kind of artifact card from the movie. I could be totally wrong on that. But if you go to the website, it has everything listed there. But when you look at distribution doesn't push the game because there's really not a whole lot of money in it. Because MSRP on these is like $52, $54, and Bushi's selling them for like $44. So, which means Distro's probably paying like $37, $38 for them. So there's not a whole lot of money. It's probably more of a nuisance product for them, but it's certainly worth paying attention to. I saw the game at Gamma in 2025 back in February. That's the only reason why I was interested in it. It looked really, really cool. And in the Bushi, whatever it is, the hour presentation that they did, they gave you like the little 9-card promo, and then they had a little thing for Godzilla and today coming soon. So I thought it was cool. But no, the 9-card promo was Bandai. They didn't give you a promo. They just gave you this stuff. So anyway, moving on, Gundam. Don't look now, but Gundam Set 1 has completely dried up on the market. The boxes are pushing $200. There's almost no cases under $3,000 at this point. I don't know what the hell happened, but it seems like after the last push of distribution product, which was really probably 3 months ago now, 2 months ago now. It's right up, and the product is churning every single day. So there's a lot of people that are buying it. S or BP05. I don't know why it's called BP as opposed to GD. Doesn't matter. Set 5 boxes, had a 24-hour turnaround, and then they have these extra boosters coming that also had a very, very tight turnaround. You can also register for these now. If you have any interest in Gundam, I would highly recommend registering for them and getting your allocations up, because I kind of foresee things starting to kick back up here. There is a live action movie coming out. I think there was a Netflix show or something that was just recently released. So there's going to be a little bit of publicity on this coming out. It's just something to pay attention to. League of Legends. We did get solicited last week for Origins reprint, or Origins Proving Ground reprint. So I believe it's supposed to come in March. Whether it comes in March or not, I have no idea. I have no idea what it's going to look like. We ordered a fair amount. I would imagine at some point, if the reprint's big enough, the price is just going to get smashed to the point where you're just stuck with a bunch of bricks. But we'll see. Let's see. Moving on. Sorcery, nothing to talk about there for at least another 11 months. Stores Unlimited, don't care. Union Arena, the only thing I want to mention on this is I think in the last 2 weeks, this has gone brick and mortar only. For the longest time, it wasn't brick and mortar. So online sellers could buy it. I think that's part of the reason why the items really just performed so poorly. So it's something to note there. Weiss, I think I mentioned last week, there is a Nikki reprint coming out that was solicited in the past week right here. In fact, the orders were due today. There was a Nikki Volume 2 coming out in the fall. There is also a free rent for those of you who don't know what free rent is. Do yourselves a favor, turn on Netflix. I'm not an anime guy, but I watched the whole 28 episodes. They're short. They're like 20 minutes each. It's written for adults, but it's actually a pretty good story. But the second season is out now. I guess it's on Crunchyroll. I tried to watch it on Netflix last night and then realized that it's not on Netflix. But it's a big up and coming IP. A lot of people seem to like it. With Bushi, they just did the reprint of the Freerun set. They have a Freerun Volume 2 scheduled for Q3, I believe. And then they have a set called The Death of Freerun. Bushi is in just make as much money as possible mode this year, coming out later in the year. So those are things of interest. Really not a whole lot else at this point. Let's move to Pokemon. We can end on Magic. Oh, My Little Pony. Got solicited for this week. I have no idea what to think, but there's probably going to be some opportunity here. The boxes are cheap. They're like $34. I'm guessing nobody's going to order it. Everybody's going to crap all over it. And people are going to want it. So it's your guess is as good as mine. Let's see. Where's Pokemon? There we go. The other thing, real quick with Riftbound, Spirit Forge, I have not heard anything about a Wave 2 yet. I'm sure it's going to be coming at some point. I have not heard anything, so all of the allocation that I have for release is a single wave. So of note there. Let's see. So Pokemon, we got the Pokemon Day collections here coming this week. We have the 3-pack stickers coming. As everybody should know at this point, the 2-pack stickers were pushed back to February 20th. We did start to get some allocations of Perfect Order, which is interesting because it seems like the booster boxes may be down. I can't tell if they're down slightly or if my distributor's accounts are up significantly. It's probably a little bit of both, but the ETBs are up, the booster bundles are up. So that's good. And it looks like all this stuff is coming out on 3/27, which is also when all of these EX boxes are coming out, which is coincidentally in line with about the time where I'm personally expecting to get a bunch of booster box reprints. I've been pretty vocal about that. I still need to do a video just triangulating why it's going to happen and the evidence that it's currently happening. But it's fine. So perfect order. As I mentioned, that's coming. I think people are going to crap all over that. It's not a bad set. It's a small set. This one and then the next set will also be a small set in June. So this will be 3 out of 4 sets that are small. The one set that's not small being the specialty set here, set of heroes. I'm guessing that this was a strategic direction to help augment the print runs for these, because when you're printing smaller sets, you can print them faster because you have to change sheets less often. There's fewer cards to collate. That's it. Just logistics. So that's interesting. And outside of that, we got some reprints last week. It's kind of old news now. We got some Drew Together, Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolutions, booster bundles, and then I think we got some 3-pack blisters of Destined or Journey, one of the two. Nothing major. Decent amount. By decent amount, I may have gotten 10, 12 cases of booster bundles for each set, and I don't have everything from all the distributors yet because not everybody's gone through the process. So that's interesting. Those of you who saw the Notify reprint confirmed with all the Target 360 thing, that was obviously a hoax. It doesn't exist. They kind of fell for the trap. Don't be Timmy. If you see things that look too good to be true, they're not real. So that being said, speaking of too good to be true, let's move to Magic. Did a video last night on what's going on with the lawsuit. In my opinion, I do have some professional background in this stuff, so it's an interesting listen. If you give shit, if you don't give shit, that's fine. Long story short, it's an ambulance chaser law firm. It's a nothing burger. Nobody cares. Nothing's going to happen. Don't get your hopes up. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So Lorman Draft Night. These did not ship last week. So I think these are all shipping this week to me. Now I'm in the Northeast, so we're in the middle of the snowstorm. But for the snowstorm, I may have gotten some on Friday, but I did not want to. I did not want to risk having things sitting in a truck depot in the middle of a blizzard. We have Turtles coming up in a couple weeks. It looks like the sentiment is slightly off the bottom, if you will. Sentiment going into it was at an absolute miserable low. I don't think the set's going to be as bad as what everybody thinks. I think 100% the big guys, Fortune Fires of the world, Collector Store, Double Infinity, they're just going to dump it. They're going to dump it as fast as possible. They're going to crush the product. And the play boxes are probably not going to have a chance at ever making any money there. In store, they're going to sell just fine. It's going to be cool. There's going to be a lot of really good cards, it looks like. So that's interesting. It's going to be interesting with the collector boxes as well, because if you guys recall, they have the Weiss style signatures, the Turtle signature cards, which is kind of cool. So that's a little different. Other than that, Commander deck is it's one deck. I'm assuming you can play any of the Turtles as a commander. That's why it works. So it's an interesting concept. It's also the fact that it's not a huge card pool. It is bigger than Spider-Man. I know some people said it's not, but it certainly is. I wonder if it's just because there wasn't a big enough card pool to make 4 decks. And then in other news, lastly, the Marvel products were spoiled over the weekend. It looks like they're going to be 4 commander decks finally, which is really cool. It looks like I'm going to do this off the top of my head, and I'm not a comic book guy at all, but it's like a Doctor Doom, kind of evil villains thing, Fantastic Four set, a Black Panther set, and then a Captain America Avenger set, with Nick Fury with a little baby hand. I don't know. Somebody mentioned that. I looked at it. I laughed. I moved on to the rest of my life because that was 10 seconds. I couldn't get back. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting to see. We need a decent size set for that. I'm sure Return to Strixhaven is going to be fine. Really just need full size sets for Marvel, full size sets for The Hobbit, and then everything's going to be fine. The only issues that we ever have is when the sets are too small, because there's too many big players that are ripping products, smashing markets, racing to zero just to churn the product, because that's what you do. I mean, like you take your 5-10% loss and you move on to something else, because you're going to have way more wins than you have losses. And that's just the way the game's played. You got to take the good with the bad. So anyway, guys, that's all I have for this week. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a good night.